So hi again. You know from my first video how I got pregnant naturally at 45 and how I'm just a little wee bit shocked. The thing that really shocked me also was that me being pro-life most of my life, I was actually wondering, should I abort this baby? I know this is a sensitive topic. I hope haters don't hate. I'm just honestly saying this was my struggle, and I was pretty shocked about it. See, I grew up in the Bible Belt, and there was a mega church like on every freaking corner. I remember when George H.W. Bush was president. Well, actually, he was vice president, and Ronald Reagan was president. I mean, yeah, I was really young, but I remember my family talking about it and saying, "Oh my God, H.W. Bush believes," well, back then they called him Bush because there was no W. Bush in politics, but they said, I can't believe that Bush believes that you can have abortion in cases of rape and incest, and it was this big deal, right? And so I grew up hearing stuff like that. I also grew up in church hearing Psalm 139:13, and it says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb." All right, so I actually went to Bible college as well. So I remember crying in one class because one professor said that he believed a fetus or embryo or whatever, baby in the womb, actually would go to hell because if you don't profess faith in Jesus, you go to hell. And so that means even babies do. So if you abort a baby, you haven't given it a chance to accept Christ, and therefore it goes to hell. I was crying because I thought, that's horrible. And I don't believe that, by the way. I think most Christians don't believe that. That was really sort of out there. But all that to say, I grew up hearing all this stuff about abortion and just being pro-life because of it. And it made sense to me too. I mean, not the whole babies in the womb go to hell. I think that's really out there. But anyway, and that, also the belief was that life begins at conception when the egg and the sperm fertilize and implant themselves onto the uterus. That's life. Okay? So that's how I've believed. And a lot of people will give latitude nowadays for rape, incest, death of the mother. I mean, a lot of people can look at that. And even some believers, I think, Christians, whatever, people on more the conservative side think even for medical reasons like death of the mother or something like that, or extreme disability of the child, that it's okay for abortion. There are some who believe there's just zero reason for abortion, even those other things. All right, so over the years, my faith has been tested, to say the least. My faith is not where it has been in the past, and so I've questioned pretty much everything I believe, and just said I really want to own this. And abortion isn't something I've really had to take a firm stand on and really know what I believe. So I just sort of felt like, maybe I would believe differently, but I don't know. Well, getting pregnant at 45 really tested my beliefs in this, because I thought, oh my God, I'm 45. That means I'll be 63 when they graduate high school. And then you've got college, and 61 for I have a 2-year-old right now, 61 for her and 63 for the baby. I'm thinking college, 67 for my age is when we're supposed to retire. So I'm thinking, hello, I knew I'd have one and financially could handle one and all that stuff, but I never thought about having a second younger one. And by the way, I have a 16 and an 18-year-old, so I've been through all this before. All right. So anyway, I always wanted a third child. And so when I got remarried, my husband didn't have any children, and he was like, yeah, I'd like to have my own child. And my daughter, older daughter, always wanted to have a younger sibling too, a little girl, and we had her. And I got pregnant at 42, first time, like I said in the first video, first time out the bat. We got pregnant. She's healthy. It's just like, great, we're set. Abortion was never even a question because we all wanted her really badly. So 45 and pregnant though, oh my God. All right. So I'm basically like, I don't know what I believe about abortion. And it took a couple of weeks for me to think through abortion. And I just thought, I'm going to have an open mind on this. I'm going to see what I really believe about it. And I, for the first time in my life, looked at the other side, looked at the pro-choice side to see what do they say about it. I called up Planned Parenthood, for pro-lifers. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I called them. I listened to videos of pro-choice people. I confided in 3 people who I knew who would not try to sway me one way or the other. I talked to a doctor who was pro-choice, and then I did find that doctor. She did say if I decided to take the abortion pill that she would follow me, afterwards, which I felt comfortable about. Because I didn't really feel comfortable about going to Planned Parenthood and having them follow me and all that, because I was really nervous about the risk to me. All right. And so, but at our Planned Parenthood, we did have a shooting. A guy shot people at Planned Parenthood, killed a cop. I mean, all kinds of bad stuff. And there are protesters who still stand outside of that center. So I thought, that's the only place in the city where I could get the abortion pill. And I thought, oh my God, I don't really want to do that. That's sort of uncomfortable. And what if I know some of those people, right? But anyway, I was thinking about the abortion pill. I learned also that 50% of women who are 45 years old miscarry. And so I thought, when I read about the abortion pill, this is, I guess, the bottom line that I found out. It gives you hormones and everything that makes your body miscarry. Well, 20 to 30% of younger women miscarry. And then 50% of women at my age miscarry. It's something that the body naturally does. And so the abortion pill, it sounds like to me is something that you give your body. It has more, it changes your hormonal mix, which causes the baby to miscarry naturally, or, abort naturally. Your body takes care of it, and it can sometimes not take, and then you have to do a second set of the abortion pill, and then if it doesn't take, then you have to get a DNC, but usually, it'll take at the second time. I found out at 4 weeks plus 2 days, and so there was a really, really, really good chance, because the earlier you take it, the more chance it'll work, because, the baby's not as implanted, I guess, and developed. And you can do it up to 9 weeks. So I was like, okay, I have time to really digest this and think about it. And to me, I guess the conclusion I came to is if the body already naturally miscarries so many times, then if you're creating a hormonal balance that causes that to happen, something that normally does happen, I personally don't have that big of a problem with it. I just don't. I know a lot of people, pro-lifers, would have a problem with that, but I just don't. Now, after 9-10 weeks, you have to get surgical abortion. That's where they open up your cervix, stick a vacuum up, and suck the baby out. I got a problem with that, because that's not really natural. It's not something the body naturally, well, I guess the baby can die in you, but, it doesn't, it's different to me. And again, this is just my personal opinion. It just doesn't seem so natural, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. So I knew I had to make a decision by 9 weeks, or probably before. Now, all right, so I also thought, the baby's nervous system, I wanted to see how that developed. Was there a heartbeat? Doing it before a heartbeat, I'd have a problem with. If I didn't do it before, before it had a heartbeat. That was another thing. I had all these things going, this flurry of stuff going in my mind, and it was driving me crazy. I remember after I talked to all the doctors, Planned Parenthood, read up on stuff, I just was like crying because I thought, I have such, like my head says I don't have a problem with the abortion pill. If someone said they were going to do it, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But my heart was like, I think I have a choice before I get pregnant to not get pregnant. And this is not my life that's inside of me. This is somebody else's life. And I don't feel like I have the right to take that life from somebody else, especially my own flesh and blood. That's where I landed. I couldn't do it. It just felt wrong to me. Even though I do have this dichotomy, whereas if somebody else took the abortion pill, I wouldn't think it's bad. There is the other thing in my mind where I'm like, if there is a God, I think a lot of things could be true, and one of them is there could be a God. And if it is wrong to take that life, I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want that against me, that I did that. So some of my faith, the remnants of my faith and everything, did have a bearing on my decision to where I just couldn't do it. I mean, I was a wreck when I was 50-50, like head saying it's okay, heart saying no. When I finally decided I can't do it, God, I had such a peace. And it was the first time I had a peace for that whole time, like 2 weeks or so, that I was deliberating over this choice. So, and I haven't regretted it. And there are times I think of, wow, this is my baby. And then I do get bonded to it. And I've had 3 other babies in me, who have been born, and it's hard to think about having that baby gone and, choosing to abort it. So anyway, that was my journey. It's been really, really hard. Because do I think I'm really equipped to have a 4th child at 45? No, not really set up for it in a lot of ways, and it makes me really nervous. And also there's a high risk of the child having something wrong with it, they say, chromosomal abnormalities and stuff like that. That's a real higher risk at my age, like tremendously high. So there's so many factors to consider. I don't know. That's the decision I made. And so here I am, 45 and pregnant, keeping the baby. And I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes. I think there's a reason, why I can be okay with others doing it and not to myself. I think basically it comes down to my fear of hell and going to hell for doing something like that, which I know a lot of people think that's crazy, but it's just the way I grew up. I mean, it is a possibility that hell exists, and I don't want to go there. But then also this cognitive dissonance where my heart as a mother is just saying something different than my head is. So I hate this dichotomy I'm living in, and I wake up every night, thinking, what am I doing? But I know I can't do anything else. So yeah, it's sort of sucks right now, to be honest. So we'll see how things develop.